Imagine you're about to invest a couple $1 million into a company and you ask the CEO one simple question. Hey, can I see that bank account? And then she's all like, sure. And then sends you a screenshot like it's nothing. What do you see? $200 million beautiful dollars. Obviously, at this point, you're like, oh, I trust you. Let's go. But the real balance was less than $200,000. It was a fake screenshot. Oh no. In a few days, this Wednesday actually, this woman stands in front of a federal judge in New York to find out how many years that one little screenshot is going to put her in prison for. This is a story of how one of the most smartest people in fashion tech faked $300 million. And according to the court filings, she Googled how to do all of this. And listen, I've lost millions of dollars, but I earned those losses honestly. See, that's the difference between me and Christine. She scammed others. I scammed myself. Well, that and about $283 million difference, but who's counting? It's the principle. Anyways, let's go. Christine Hunsicker, she's not some crypto bro standing in front of a Lambo being like, yo, buy my freaking course. She's a Princeton grad. There's a Jumbi there. She's been on magazine lists. She's a fashion tech darling. She was the future of retail. And she had all these superstar power players around her. The board included the former president of Stanford. She had like investors and executives that are from like Goldman Sachs, Microsoft, Yahoo. Who used to have a Yahoo email? This was probably the least scammable room in America. And I want you to remember that as we go. Because if you're one of those people that are like, I'm too smart to be buffooned, nobody's gonna scam me because I got a super high IQ. Dude, the president of Stanford was on board. He got duped. What makes you think you're safe? So what is this CaaStle thing anyway? It started in 2011 as a clothing subscription. So you pay monthly, you rent the clothes, and then you send it right back. I don't think it's a good idea because you don't want my underwears, it's full of skid marks. But then she had a pretty cool idea. In 2018, she made it business to business. Brands like Ann Taylor, Express, Vince, they could rent out inventory through her platform, and then they handled everything from the dry cleaning, the restocking, the return, the shipping, all that stuff. So imagine it was like Netflix for clothes, but instead of like getting DVDs in the mail, she was like running around and delivering it to homes. So this is a real business idea and there's nothing scammy about it. Everything was real, like the service was real, they had clothes, the company, there were warehouses, but one thing was extremely fake, which was the numbers. Like, it's hard enough to run a legitimate business. Why would you add crime to it? I guess crime does pay when you get away from it, but man, it's like adding stress on top of stress. So here's what the investors were told. They were like, look at this. This is like SpaceX for clothing. It's next level. This is crazy. The valuation is like $1.4 billion. Okay, but I got the details right here. What's really true is by 2023, CaaStle has raised $521 million and lost 511 of it. The truth is it was actually making $16 million a year in sales, which is not bad. But here's the problem. It was never profitable. I want you to look at it this way. So 16 million sounds like a massive number because it is. But if it takes 20 million to run your business every year, you owe 4 million every year. It sucks. You might as well not just started the business and then you wouldn't be in $4 million worth of debt every year. So the SEC did the math on the fake ass financials that she gave. Here's the funny part, okay? Revenues overstated by over 7,000, like 7,300%. To be exact, that's crazy. If I told you that my store did over 7,300%, would you guys actually go like, oh, that's great. That's wonderful news. No, you'd be like, shut up. Like, what? You did math wrong. And here's the thing. Not one genius that was a part of this whole thing questioned that. Nobody said, dang, we had a 7,000% increase. Wow. Like, are you stupid? Maybe this is one of those things where these guys have so much money and so many projects that they just can't keep track of everything that's going on. And I'm just going to give them the benefit of the doubt because I don't know. I don't have big money problems like that. So let me tell you how fraudsters do this. They'll have one accounting book that's real. It's tracking the records of the sales, the cost, all that, because they want to actually see how their business is doing. They have another one. It's a fake one, right? And this one is either you inflate the numbers so you can show it to people and be like, look at how well my business is doing. Please invest in me. Or you could fake the numbers to where it's failing and you give that one to the tax man and say, oh, I don't know what it is. My business just sucks. So I guess I don't have to owe any money to the government. So whether you cook it, doesn't matter if you overcook it, undercook it. This is exactly what she was doing. She was cooking them books. And the reason why is because at any given time, your investors are going to ask you for the financials. So when the SEC investigated all of this, how she did it was she took the real audit, downloaded it, opened up Photoshop or something, changed the numbers. The auditors actually had a note there talking about how they doubted if the company could survive. And she just deleted that part. And after that, boom, give it to all the investors. They feel happy. They feel confident. And it was done by a third-party auditor. That means a different, unbiased team outside of her. And she's so clever how she did this. When the new investors wanted to jump in because they're like, wow, all my friends are making money, she'll be like, oh, you're just in time. You're so lucky. Well, I'm going to give you some discounted shares because the original investors, they wanted to go and they're in trouble. They need some money to buy their shares. So you're coming in and you're going to be helping them out. And here's the thing, those early investors, they didn't even exist. She just pitched and lied and lied and lied. And everyone's like, dude, I'm getting a good deal. Wow, that's so cool. I'm investing into a company with the president of Stanford, all these guys from Goldman Sachs. Man, this is going to do really well. But all she did was took that money and put it in her pocket. And when she needed like 20 million more dollars, she just forged the signatures of her board members and pocketed some more money. So every single time she needed to pull money, make a money decision, all that stuff, she needs approval from the board. It's not that easy unless you just pretend and forge and lie and cheat and steal. Then it becomes easy. And on top of that, she took a $20 million personal loan from the bank and she was using fake numbers. The bank believed all of this. Doesn't it make you wonder, like, how is she getting away with all of this? And how come I don't have $500 million in my bank account if it was that easy? You know what the part that's really funny, though, is she almost got caught 2 years before all of this. The auditing firm that went down and broke down her financials and all that and made a report, they catch wind from someone that there's a fake audit that they produce that's going around. So they get their hands on the fake and then they confront her and then they'll be like, yo, what's up, fool? This ain't real. I gave this to you and where's the notes? Where's the numbers? And at this point, I realized that she's probably such a sociopath professional liar because I wouldn't be able to say this. Oh, this was just a teaching example for a lecture at Princeton because that's where I went to. I accidentally sent it to an investor. I meant to send it to a student. Oopsie, I promise I won't do it again because I went to Princeton. Oh, well, you went to Princeton? Oh my God, you're so upper echelon. There's no way that you're doing this intentionally as a bad thing, that's okay. And by the way, she sent more than one fraudulent document. She sent 2, but who cares, right? At this point, she's panicking. She pays back everything to that investor and it goes right under the rug. It gets brushed away. Nobody talks about it after that. So how does this end? this 6-year, $300 million sophisticated fraud scheme. How? It wasn't some FBI raid. It wasn't some high-tech hacker finding anything out. It wasn't even like a whistleblower from the inside. But apparently, one guy decided to actually check and make a phone call. So in late 2024, a man named Jed Lenzner, he's the money manager of one of the investors. He looks at CaaStle's audited financials, sees the auditing firm on the letterhead, and decides to call him. Wow, maybe it's the first guy in the last 6 years that actually decided to do it. Hey, quick question about your client CaaStle? And then the firm goes, we haven't worked with them in years. And that was it. That's the whole detective story. After 6 years and $500 million and not even the smartest business minds in the room could solve this. It was all undone by one man who decided to call and see if it was real. So he alerts the board, and immediately the Stanford professor resigns. December 2024, the board strips her, not like of her clothes, but like of her title. And that's it, bans her. She can't raise no money. She can't do nothing. And you would think that would be the end of it, but nothing stops Christine. She's going to keep raising money, baby, because that's what she do. And it's already been 6 years of it, and she does a damn good job doing it too. All this does is motivates her and goes, man, you guys hate it. You don't like seeing women thrive in the workplace. I'm going to show you. So she creates another company called P180. And the business plan was to buy clothing brands and make them pay CaaStle for services so CaaStle gets the cash. And this girl is so professional, she already raised $30 million from it from CaaStle investors. Are they stupid? Like, they kicked her off the board and they're still giving her money? She did the same trick too, just using the same fake story. She literally just built a second company to launder hope into the next one. This girl is a genius. Now, I'm not praising her or anything like that, but the level of boldness you need to have, and if she channeled that into sales or like doing something legitimate, this girl would have been amazing. But she ends up on the list of frauds. So after the board banned her, she sells 8 million of her own shares, 5 million in notes, and tries to unload 19 million more. By March 2025, the FBI seizes her devices and they find a lot of porn. No, I just made that part up. The FBI, they have her phone, and according to the filings, she's still meeting up with investors. She's still getting money. Even though after people all know this stuff, she's still hustling. At this point, I don't even think it's greed. I think it's a part of her personality, and she's damn good at it, and she's not going to give up. Imagine if that was your number one thing that you were known for. I am the number one fraudster in America. You're not going to give up that title easily. You're going to keep frauding. Why? Because you've never been number one in anything in life. So you might as well keep the title of the number one fraudster. But time is a ticking. July 2025. She's indicted. She surrenders herself with $1 million bond. On March 2026, she pleads guilty because she's guilty that she's number one. She also agrees to hand back $283 million. And this Wednesday, we're going to find out what her sentencing is. So she is a perfect definition of fake it till you make it. Christine took out that loan in 2019, and the interest rate is the prison in your punishment. Go to jail. So here's the thing, investors, they don't buy companies, they buy stories. If you could tell a good story, they're gonna throw their money at you. They're gonna be looking around and seeing who else invested. If they see other smart people in the room, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, no brainer. These guys are in it, I'm in it. A lot of people don't even know Warren Buffett, but what did they do? They know he's a successful investor, so they just dump money wherever he does. That's why the least scammable room in America ends up being one of the most easiest. It's like that Spider-Man thing when everyone's doing this thing, right? Everyone respects each other and they go, that guy's not a dumbass, that guy's a genius, whatever. I trust what he puts his money in. I don't gotta do my homework. Because they probably did theirs. I just got to copy their homework. Nobody called nobody to double check. See, this is why you guys shouldn't be copying off of any Asian dude at school, especially because if it was this one, I copied from the Mexican guy, and the Mexican guy copied from the white guy, and then the white guy copied from me. So all three of us were just copying each other. And that's why I don't put anybody on a pedestal. I don't give a damn what your title is. I just assume that everyone's dumb. Does nobody in the world remember what Enron is? Am I that old? And here's the thing, scams and cons, they're at every level of society. So what turns an entrepreneur into a fraud? I think there will be a day where your real numbers will embarrass you. Some people will push the limits and they need to fudge those numbers to survive. So whatever desperate spot you're in, and for whatever reason, that's the pivotal moment that every entrepreneur will face. Some people will budge a little bit. Some people will say never in a million years. And some people will go all the way and then they'll be like, that wasn't so bad and I got away. Why don't I do it again? But also in her situation, I feel like it wasn't just about the money anymore. It was an image to upkeep, especially if all of your peers are like these upper echelon business people, high society folks. Like, you don't want to be that embarrassed. Like me, I'm around scoundrels. Like, if I'm the biggest fish in my small pond, right? They're going to just laugh at me if I fail, but it doesn't really matter because I'll just be at the same level. For her, not only will she like fall down completely, she might not even be able to go back with her friends. So like I said, on Wednesday, the judge is going to sentence her. So if you're new to my channel, thank you for watching. Please hit subscribe and that notification bell because as soon as a video comes up, I'm in the comments discussing with you and I want to be able to catch you. Also, drop in the comments, how many years do you think she's going to get? But even more interesting, I want to know about you. At what point in this story would you have walked away? Are you a full-on schemer? Would you just be like, yo, the money is crazy, 500 million, let's go. I'll lie, I'll cheat, I'll steal. Also, I'm building community discussions around freelancers, entrepreneurship, and crazy stories like this that happened to my real life. If you're interested, link in the description box below. Please sign up just in case my YouTube gets taken down by the CIA. Anyways, next week I have a fraud story that's not from the news, straight from my friend. I've known this for about a year and there is an open case going on right now. Super juicy. But till next time, that's why you gotta hit that bell. Don't miss out. Peace.